Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are here today on our YouTube channel to dig deeper into some of the intriguing topics we touched upon during our Bible and the Black Man seminar held in Georgia on the 24th of June 2023. As we stand on the eve of the 157th anniversary of the Battle of Little Bighorn, we find ourselves embarking on a fascinating journey back in time. Our exploration takes us to 1851, when the American military was just a budding force of about 20,000 soldiers. Fast forward to 1933, and we find the US expanded to having the 16th largest army in the world. Today, however, the US military stands unrivaled, recognized globally as the pinnacle of military power. What's fascinating is how this narrative is interlaced with the story of the children of Israel. Our esteemed elder Shadrach warned us about the perils of becoming lost sons wandering away from our roots. So today, as we review this dramatic transformation of the American military, we also take a moment to reflect on our own journey, tracing the footsteps of the Israelite lineage. Stay tuned as we delve into these topics in the coming segments. As always, your engagement helps us to continue our journey of discovery. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So let's dive right in. I'm sure during this seminar you heard our elder speak of the date, December the 7th, 1941. Well, Doris Miller, also known as Dory, US Navy sailor, served as the ship's cook. He displayed great bravery during the attack on Pearl Harbor, which occurred on December the 7th, 1941. Untrained in combat, he manned an anti-aircraft gun, firing against the Japanese planes. His actions, defying the racial prejudices of the era, earned him the Navy Cross, the first awarded to a black man. That's right, a Jacobite. Do you remember during the seminar, our esteemed elder said he had asked me to dig into the history of the 761st Tank Battalion and their role in liberating the Jews from concentration camps? Well, I must tell you, it's been an interesting journey. It was quite a challenge to find specific written resources discussing this rescue mission. Nevertheless, I was able to unearth a riveting documentary right here on YouTube. Now, this isn't the first time I've seen the footage. Several years ago, our elder shared it with me and some of my brethren. It's always been a powerful reminder of the significant contribution made by our people. Some may wonder why this information isn't more prominently documented. While there could be various reasons, it's crucial for us as descendants of slaves to truly understand and appreciate the greatness of our people. Our forefathers built the Americas with their tears, their sweat, and their blood. Their greatness is inherently interwoven into the fabric of this country. Just take a moment and consider, if we had lost World War II, would we have been able to have the same freedoms that we have today, to explore our Israelite culture and identity, and serve our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? There are still places in the world today, and I know of them and I've been there, where invoking his name is forbidden. Now, the next segments are clips that review this documentary. I highly encourage you to take some time to watch the full documentary. I'll leave the link below for your convenience. Remember, understanding our past is essential to navigate our present and future. Let's delve in. The 761st Tank Battalion, often referred to as the Black Panthers, was an independent tank battalion of the United States Army. It's noteworthy that the 761st was one of the very first African American, aka, as we would like to say, Jacobite, armed units in the US military. This is a historical fact which bears great significance. Established in 1942, the 761st was deployed in 1944 during the height of World War II. They served under General George S. Patton, US Third Army, and were instrumental in numerous battles across France, Belgium, and Germany, including the famous Battle of the Bulge. As mentioned before, the battalion, composed primarily of African American soldiers, Jacobites, that battled not only enemy on the front line, but also racism and segregation within their own ranks. Their courage, perseverance, and gallantry broke down many barriers and paved the way for future generations. During the Bulge, the Battle of the Bulge, the 761st Tank Battalion cut the supply lines, resulting in the German army not being able to get their supplies. The 761st is then given new orders. They are to break through the Siegfried Line. The Siegfried Line, also known as the West Wall, was a vast system of defensive fortifications built by Germany along its western border. It was designed to impede any Allied advances into German territory. Breaking through this line was a major challenge due to its formidable obstacles, including concrete bunkers, tank traps, barbed wires, and extensive minefields. The 761st Tank Battalion, along with the 103rd Infantry Division, demonstrated determination and resilience, eventually succeeding in breaking through after 72 hours of intense fighting. The 761st Tank Battalion was among the first battalions to crack the Siegfried Line and penetrate deep into Germany. Their success opened up opportunities for advanced Allied forces to advance further into German territory and hasten the eventual defeat of the Nazi regime.
Germans by the thousands surrender to the American soldiers. But there are those unwilling to give themselves up to a black man.
Did you know that the 761st Tank Battalion was known as the Black Panthers after their distinctive unit insignia? That's right, they were the original Black Panthers.
On May 2nd, 1945, the 761st Tank Battalion reaches Germany's border with Austria. They cross through Austria to wait for their Russian allies to join them. The men of the 761st who experienced racism in the South and the devastation of war are unprepared for what they are about to witness. As the 761st travels through Austria, they are unaware of what lies ahead of them. Hidden in these forests are Hitler's notorious concentration camps.
As we know from history, Allied forces advanced into German-occupied territory. They encountered concentration camps where millions of victims of Nazi persecution were held captive.
We were coming down this road through a forest, and the open field, and the big fence, and a gate. I told the driver to go through the gate, and we went, knocked the gate down, and went into camp.
The 761st Battalion saw combat from November 1944 until the end of the war in 1945 under General George Patton. The 761st participated in several significant battles, including the Battle of the Bulge. They also fought in France, Belgium, and Germany. During the 183 days, Patton's Panthers, as they were known, were in continuous combat. I'm going to read for you a little speech that he had made during the time. Men, you are the first Negro tankers to ever fight in the American Army. I have nothing but the best in my army. I don't care what color you are, so long as you go up there and kill the Krutz. Everyone has their eyes on you and is expecting great things from you. Most of all, your race is looking forward to your success. Don't let them down. And damn you, don't let me down. They say it's patriotic to die for your country. Well, let's see how many patriots we can make out of those German SOBs. We should note that General Patton, actually requested this battalion. For whatever reason, he looked at them and he saw that they were the best and he wanted them on his team. And he was a pretty good general too. So just bear that in mind.
I was sitting up in my tank, looking because I didn't even know what it was until one of my platoon came up and said, Sarge, said, you know what this is? I said, no, what is it? He said, they said this is a concentration camp.
I just stared with my mouth open because they didn't look human, to be honest with you.
Jacobites, for those unfamiliar, are a people with a long history of oppression and persecution that spans hundreds of years. They are the descendants of slaves, the children of Jacob. Despite this, they continue to persevere and fight for their identity and freedom. Their story is one of resilience and unyielding spirit, a testament to their enduring character. Now, fast forward to the grim times of World War II, an era of global conflict, where the Jacobites find themselves in a unique role of rescuer. It may seem paradoxical to a people so long oppressed, now taking on the mantle of liberators. Yet, it is within this irony that we find the true strength of the Israelite spirit. The oppressed can empathize deeply with the plight of others in a similar situation, often sparking a determination to aid, rescue, and deliver others from suffering as well.
The camps that the 761st arrive at are a living legacy to Hitler's savage vision, the complete annihilation of Europe's Jews. The stories of deportation are as horrific as the camps themselves.
I was 15 when the Germans came in. Eichmann arrived in Budapest with his lieutenants to organize the deportation of Hungarian Jews.
We had a quite nice life until the Nazis invaded, and they put us in cattle wagons, about 100 of us in one cattle wagon.
In one of the most poignant moments of the war, it is the oppressed who will free the persecuted. The 761st Tank Battalion, along with the 71st Infantry, are the first to liberate a camp known as Gunskirchen, a sub-camp of the main concentration camp known as Mauthausen.
Look at this. The 761st Tank Battalion scored another first. They were one of the first battalions to liberate one of the camps. Now, this is huge because it goes to show the magnitude of our people. You know, being the least in the army, we were raised to greatness because one, somebody believed in us, and two, we have the spirit of Israel in us. You know, we are Israelites, we are descendants of Israel. And we need to recognize that because If we understood our greatness, we would appreciate ourselves, we would appreciate each other more. Somebody once said that we are afraid of our own greatness. And as we mentioned many times before, everybody wants to copy us. Everyone wants to be like us. And as soon as we put our hands to something, we make it into something great. Look at our forefathers like Joseph. He was there in Egypt, and even Daniel in Babylon. They were there and they made those places great. And now we are here in the Americas and we are making the Americas great, even through our actions. Let's continue to explore our history.
The Nazis are losing the war, but they still persist on carrying out their barbaric goal.
I told the driver to go through the gate, and we went, knocked the gate down, and went into the camp. Then the people come out from all over the place. And to look at the site and saw those people.
It made you cry. It made you sick to your stomach. You could count every rib, everything. Bone. Like you go into a live place and you see the skeleton hanging, that's what they look like.
And I just cried for about 5 minutes. I cried because I just couldn't believe it.
Our historical identity is intricately woven, or shall I say, interwoven with world history. And this is why it matters more than ever that we understand this. The saying goes, history is written by the victors. And while there's some truth to this, it often obscures the rich tapestry that history truly is, a complex narrative of interconnected stories and perspective.
And I just cried for about 5 minutes. I cried because I just couldn't believe it.
Soldiers, the black soldiers sitting on the turret, and they were absolutely horrified. I'll never forget their eyes were like saucers because what they saw here was something that they would have never seen under any battlefield conditions.
But to see these people to be treated like that, and you figure you only thought about slavery doing to black people. That I didn't think that something like that would happen today. I didn't know that the Germans were that evil to want to do this to people.
This documentary clearly tells a tale, often overlooked, that is, the extraordinary deeds of the Jacobites' involvement during World War II. These stories, unfortunately, may be lost if we do not diligently preserve and share them. They may be reshaped or, even worse, erased completely from the annals of history, leaving generations unaware of the contribution and struggle of those before them.
And suddenly, a big black American soldier came down with a bicycle, with a woman's bicycle. This was the first time ever I seen a black person. I never seen one before. And he came right front of me and gave me the bicycle and the big bag of chocolate. I think this was the first time I was happy in many, many, many years.
felt very thankful, really, towards the liberators, because without them, we wouldn't have made it. Had they been hours later or days later, many more of us would not have made it, and I'll be forever grateful to them.
You know, the dangerous part about ignoring our historical identity, about letting someone else narrate our story, is that we risk losing control over the representation of our past. And this doesn't just distort history, it distorts how we perceive ourselves and how others perceive us. Remember, each document, each documentary, each artifact is a precious link to our past. They are fragile, not just in the physical sense, but also metaphorically. Their survival relies on our collective effort to protect, study, and share them. Even as we hold on to our Bible, which is a historical artifact, it is up to us to protect it.
I don't know. I don't. It's hard to explain unless you experience it yourself. It's very hard.
In the heat of the Battle of the Bulge, amidst the fury and frost, the 761st Tank Battalion stood their ground and fought valiantly. This was a crucial point in the war, a brutal, pivotal encounter that helped shift the tides in the Allies' favour. However, recognition for these extraordinary deeds was not immediate. Do you know that it took over 30 long years after the war ended for the 761st Tank Battalion to be recognized for their extraordinary deeds? However, they were finally and rightfully honored. They were awarded the Presidential Unit Citation, a distinguished accolade that pays tribute to their outstanding performance during the Battle of the Bulge. The belated recognition does not diminish the battalion's contribution, but rather highlights the perseverance needed to ensure that such acts of bravery and sacrifice do not go unnoticed. Today, the 761st Tank Battalion are honoured for their courage, bravery, and determination. So, among the most notable members of the 761st Tank Battalion was First Lieutenant Jack Robinson, later known as Jackie Robinson, who would go on to break the color barrier in Major League Baseball. During the seminar, Elder Shadrach pointed out that America's power comes from two sources: the spirit of Egypt and the Israelites. One thing he said, which was really profound, and that is, we grow stronger as Israelites the more we serve our God, which is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At the end of the day, we owe it to ourselves and our future generations to unearth and preserve these stories, our stories. Let's rewrite the narrative, ensuring our history is told authentically and fully. So here we are at the conclusion of another enlightening journey through the rich tapestry of our shared history. Today, we have reviewed in some details the historical content discussed during the Bible and the Black Man seminar, shedding light on the incredible role the Jacobites played during World War II. Preserving and learning from these historical treasures is crucial, but let us not forget to acknowledge their importance and value. They are our guide to understanding our collective past. and more importantly, our role in molding the future. Remember, our history isn't just a series of isolated events, it's a complex, interconnected weave of narratives from people across the world and throughout time. Our history includes the Israelites of old. From the Garden of Eden to the Exodus out of Egypt, from the rebuilding of the temple in the book of Nehemiah to the resurrection of the Christ, our history is deep and complex. Without a true understanding of our historical identity, we risk our stories being retold from someone else's perspective, or even worse, erased entirely. We have seen many examples of this in the past. So, thank you for joining us on this exploration. We hope that you've learned something or have come away with a profound appreciation of our shared history and a renewed understanding of why it's vital to preserve it. And as always, remember, stay curious, continue learning, and let's journey together. Thank you, Elder, for your extraordinary wisdom. And I just want to let our audience know that we will be having another Bible and the Black Man. Actually, it will be the Bible and the Black Man and Black Woman. And this time it will be in New York, New Jersey. So please stay tuned for more information on this seminar. And before we part ways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more riveting lessons into the annals of history, the Bible, and the Israelite culture. Until next time, keep the flame of curiosity alive. Peace.